Hey everybody, it's Rob with Cherry City Guns and Ammo, and today we're playing with my new 50 caliber AR-15. Stick around. Okay, so what we got here is my new 12.7 by 42 millimeter AR-15. This is not a 50 Beowulf like the thumbnail says. It's a 50 cal. That's not a 50 Beowulf. And the reason for that is Alexander Arms is the ones that actually invented the 50 Beowulf, and they trademarked the name. So the only people that can sell anything with 50 Beowulf name on it is Alexander Arms. Luckily, the 12.7 by 42 has the exact same dimensions, pressure, and everything else important. It's all identical to the 50 Beowulf. So what it is, it's a 50 Beowulf that's not made by Alexander Arms, simply because of trademark name. So it's basically the exact same thing. So yeah, if you're not familiar with it, see that muzzle brake, it's huge. You need it. This thing's got a lot of pop. See that big 50 cal hole? It's a 50 caliber AR-15. Now I gotta find my magazine. And you use a mag that outside dimensions looks just like a 30 round AR-15 magazine, but it's not. Because an AR-15 magazine, a typical one in a 223 or 5.56, is a double stack magazine. That is a single stack. Each round takes up the entire length and width of the magazine, and this only holds 10. And I don't think I even have 10 in here, but it is ridiculously heavy because these are 440 grain cast lead rounds. And if you look really close, you can see that the base of the cartridge, the rim is actually smaller than the body, and that is what's known as a rebated rim. And the reason for that is the bolt head inside of the AR-15. If you machined it out big enough for the 50 cal, there's just not enough meat there to do it. So it has to have a smaller rim. It shares the same rim dimensions as the 7.62 by 39 or 6.5 Grendel. That's really about the biggest you can machine out that bolt head and still have enough strength around it to hold everything together. So it's got that weird smaller rim. But other than that, it's very similar to the 500 Smith & Wesson. Similar case capacity. One major difference is the 50 Beowulf, or 12.7 by 42 millimeter, is loaded to a lot less pressure than the 500 Smith & Wesson. That big X-frame Smith & Wesson revolver is actually able to handle a lot more pressure. And if you loaded that to a similar pressure in AR-15, being that it's a gas-operated semi-auto, it would create too much gas and too much pressure, and they just wouldn't last. You'd end up just kind of rattling your whole gun apart. This one seems like just about the perfect amount of gas coming through it for this setup, because literally my brass lands about 3 feet away from me to the side. But so far, cycles 100%, which is impressive because lots of times these straight-walled calibers have a hard time in an AR-15. But enough talking. Let's shoot this stinking thing. Let's go down our line of bowling pins. If I can hit it. I didn't have the mag seat all the way. That is my fault. As well as the miss. I'm gonna be honest with you, that first shot I probably flinched. This has a tremendous amount of recoil for an AR-15. Let's hit our Scoop TV plate. Not sure how many rounds we got left in there. We gotta be getting pretty close. We'll go ahead and finish up on the Scoops TV plate. Oh man, my shoulder's gonna be sore tomorrow. Even with that gigantic muzzle brake, this really has a surprisingly huge amount of recoil. Let me go load it back up and let's see what we can do with it long range. Be right back. Alright, we're loaded back up with some of these giant torpedoes in this 12.7 by 42 not 50 Beowulf AR-15. And let's see what we can do at long distance. So I'm going to zoom in here over my shoulder. First we're going to shoot at, right here we've got a silhouette and a 8-inch gong at 60 yards, and then right over here we've got the same size silhouette and then an AR-500 steel head at 100. Let's see what we can do at distance with this big 50 cal AR. First let's go for the 60-yard silhouette. And we knocked it right off the bracket. Okay, let's do the 60-yard gong. Man, it hits that thing so hard. Alright, 100-yard silhouette. I missed it. Missed it again. Holy cow. There we go. You know, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I'm probably just flinching a little bit. Let me slow down, take my time. There we go. We got a couple of them in there at 100. The bad thing about this is because they single stack in that mag, you run out so quick. But I've got some different rounds. They may recoil a little bit less and might be a little bit better for that distance shooting. I'll be right back with you. Alright, now what we have here, these are 350 grain solid brass penetrator rounds. So these are 350 grain brass bullets that are actually machined from brass round stock. They're kind of spendy. They don't deform at all, and being 350 grain instead of those big 440s are probably going to get out their distance a little bit quicker. So let's zoom in again, and I'm going to go ahead and start right off shooting at the 100-yard silhouette, which once again is right there. All right. Let's see if we can hit that head. Let's see. Got some kind of a jam up. Hold on. Alright, so I loaded up those 350 grain penetrators, and I didn't have any actual load data to go off of, so I did some rough guesstimating, and I was getting a little bit higher pressure signs than I was really comfortable going on with, so the rest of those are going to get pulled. And I'll dial back the powder load a little bit to see if I find something that works a little bit safer in those. Everything was fine. It was just a little hard to eject the brass, so it shows that we're getting a little bit high in the pressure. So we've just gone back to the 440 grain lead. Those are working really good and leaving no pressure signs at all. Now what we're going to do is, you can see I've got my chronograph set up behind me. We're going to do some calculations. We're going to try to figure out how hard this thing's actually hitting. And then after that, we'll go right over there. We've got a couple of 2 liters and a pineapple just to see what kind of destruction it'll do. And then we'll do the calculations and figure out how hard these are hitting, how many foot-pounds of energy they're actually delivering, and then we'll wrap things up. So, first off, the chronograph, we're going to do 3 shots across it. 1630. 1647, 1613. Okay, that gives us a good 3-shot average. Now we'll go ahead and zoom in over there on the 2 liters and the pineapple. Once my camera guy says we're ready to go. All right, first let's do the 2 liters. All right, starting on the 2 liter over there on the left. I missed it. There we go. Middle 2 liter. That just popped a hole in it. Alright, Mr. Pineapple. For some reason, this is now hitting far left. There we go. Just had to hold the right edge. Chunks of pineapple are flying. All right, so I'm going to do the calculations. I'll come back to you and let you know how many foot-pounds of energy that was delivering. All right, so we did the calculations, and we're looking at 2,596 foot-pounds of energy with that 440 grain. We might be able to get actually a little bit more with a lighter bullet. I'm definitely going to do a lot more experimenting with this with different weights. 440 is actually pretty heavy for the Beowulf. Most of the rounds you find for the Beowulf are more in the 300 to 350 grain range. The 440s seem to shoot fine, although I thought, you know, I started hitting way left, and I thought it was because the base of this red dot was gotten a little bit loose, and it had. I mean, just a little bit, and I tightened it up a whole bunch, and I tried it again, it was still hitting left. So I don't think this red dot is capable of handling the amount of energy coming on this rifle. So I'm gonna have to do something else for an optic on this. I'm not sure what. I don't know if maybe I'll go to more of a LVPV or LPVO, low power variable optics type scope. I don't know if I'll go to another red dot. Not really sure what I'm gonna do. If you have some suggestions, throw them into the comment section. But yeah, I gotta do something different because this isn't cutting it. Not if it's gonna get thrown that far off so easily. So anyway, I'm super happy to have my own 50 caliber AR-15. It's a beast. It hits really hard. It packs a hell of a wallop, and I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this in the future. Especially trying out different not calibers, but different weights and bullet types to see what it really likes. You know, this would be actually a very viable, like, short range elk gun. You know, I live in Western Oregon. Where we're at right now is in the coastal mountains. There's a lot of elk around here, and you usually don't see them at very far off. Usually you don't have a lot of opportunities far off, and I think this or a 450 Bushmaster would actually do just fine with the amount of punch that it has for short range elk. I think it'd be no problem at all. Hogs or deer, I think it's maybe kind of a lot. I mean, you could do it just fine, but it'd be kind of overkill. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching the video. I'm gonna have a lot of cool stuff coming up here soon, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and you'll get notifications when new content comes out. If you want to help support the channel in any way, which there's definitely no need to, but there is a link to my Patreon down in the description. But just liking, commenting, and sharing it with your friends on your social media would mean a ton, and I would appreciate a lot. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.